All right, you guys, for this exercise, we are working with complementary colors. Complementary colors are the colors directly opposite each other on the color wheel. They're super important art because, number one, people like advertisers put complementary colors next to each other. So next time you're flipping through a magazine, you'll see a lot of blue and orange next to each other because they really pop. They fight for attention. The other thing artists do with complementary colors is blend them together to neutralize a color. Because they're opposites on the color wheel, it's essentially like combining all the pretty colors together and you get muddier colors. So when you're trying to paint something realistic, maybe like a landscape, you don't just want the colors straight out of the bottle. You need to be able to manipulate your colors to tone them down. So you don't have bright, vivid red. Maybe you have more of a dark red or a brownish red. To do this exercise, you guys need to pair up your complementary colors. I labeled them for you. So I just filled in my pure red and I filled in my pure green. Now what I'm trying to do is end up with neutral in the middle of each of these scales. Neutral is the same thing as basically brown or kind of a gray mud color. With my red, I'm going to start at this end. I'm going to take my puddle of red. I'm going to add a pinprick of the green. This color will darken slightly. It should still look like red. It should not turn to mud right away. So when I paint this in, I've got something that's different than my first pure red. It's a little bit darker, kind of more of a maroon color. Please work on your neatness again. I've seen a lot of you guys slopping it on there, not keeping it inside the box. You need to be able to control paint. Now I'm going to take a little bit more green out of that same puddle, see if I can keep something that still looks like red. I'm going to paint it in the next box. So you see how I've created a scale of different reddish colors that are less vivid than the original red. I'm going to clean off my brush. Of course, I'm going to dry it because we're not watercoloring. I'm going to take my puddle of green, add a little pinprick of red to that puddle, stir it around. I should get something that dull green, more of an army green, if you will. Olive green, maybe. Paint that in the next box. Now again, it should still look like green. We should not be looking at something that's already brown. You guys keep it inside the box. I'm going to add a little more red to that puddle. I think I need more green because it dried up really fast on this paper. Let's see what I can get here. Oops, that doesn't really look like green anymore. I'm going to put some more green back in the puddle. That green I have is really lame. Paint this in there. And then I'm aiming for brown in the middle. So I mean, that doesn't look like red and it doesn't look like green. So I'm going to keep mixing here until I find something that I think looks pretty much neutral, that I couldn't define it as red or green. And that mud color that you've created goes in the middle box. You're going to repeat this whole process again. So clean off your brush, get the next colors. You need blue and orange for the next scale. Same concept. Pure colors at the end, and you're working towards neutral in the middle.